Hi guys, so here are the ingredients I'll be using for my okra soup. I've got the dried fish here, I've got stockfish, I've got Okro dried prawns, and I've got crayfish, and here I've got ogbono, and I've got onions. There are also some other ingredients I'm going to use for my okra soup. To that ingredient I'll be using my okra as well. I've washed it and I'm just going to chop it up or grate it as well. And to that I've got my peppers, I've got the sweet peppers to add to the okra soup, and I've got my scotch bonnet there as well. And to the seasoning I'm going to be adding sea salt, aromat, and crayfish stock cube. And to that as well I'll be adding onions and more scotch bonnet pepper. I'm also going to be adding palm oil. This was bought from the Nigerian shop. And most of my ingredients, my stockfish and my dried fish, were bought from Nigeria, and they were bought from my mom bought them. Obviously they are all free from weevils and all those ants that are in it. They're very, very clean. And I've got meat here for my okra soup. I've got goat meat, I've got cow foot, and I've got shaki or tribe. I'll go ahead now and wash the meat and get them prepared. So I've washed my shaki and my cow leg, and I'm going to boil both of them separately, and then I'll boil my meat separately because I don't like to add the stock of the shaki and the cow foot in my okra soup. And to this, for now, I'm not going to add any seasoning or anything. I'll let it boil down a bit before I add a bit of salt and Maggi. But for now, I'm just going to add some water. I'm just going to put a lid on it and then let it cook. So I've washed my goat meat, ready to be cooked for my okra soup. And into this goat meat, I'll be adding I'm going to cook this for 15 to 20 minutes. It's not going to be too soft, but yeah, a bit tender. So my meat is done. As you can see, it's a bit steamy and a bit blurry. That's my goat meat as well. So my meat is done. I'm just going to take it out and I'm going to prepare my other ingredients for the okra soup. So in my pot here, I've got red oil. I'm going to be adding onions to that. This will be used to fry the ogbono before I add it to the meat stock, and then cook everything together. I'm just going to fry that out a little bit. As you can see, that has fried down. So to that I'm going to be adding the ogbono. A little bit of it, not too much. This just helps the okra maintain, you know, the drawness in it, and it lasts a long time. Yeah. So I just add a little bit to that, and then just kind of like melt it down, and this will be added to the meat stock. Okay, so I've added my ogbono to that. I'm going to let that cook out a little bit before I add any other thing. And to this I'm going to add my pepper mix to that, and I'll just let that cook a little bit before I add any other thing to my okra stock. Okay, so while that is cooking, I'm going to add my crayfish and my okra. And just give that a little stir. I'm going to add a bit of water, you know, by the time I add the other ingredients, my stockfish, my cow food in there. Okay, I'll be adding my stockfish and dried fish now. So I'm going to be adding my okra to the mix. And I'll just give that a stir. So I've added my okra to that and I've given it a little mix, and I'll just let it cook for like 2 to 3 minutes, not too long, because I like my okra still a little bit crunchy. Not too crunchy, but a little bit, you know, fresh and crunchy. I'm ready now to add my final ingredient, which is my spinach. I'm going to give that a stir and then cook it up for less than a minute or a minute, because, you know, it makes everything fresh. So I've added my spinach and my okra is done. Now the question is, what do I eat it with? So guys, I've decided to have oats infused with amala. I'm going to show you the process. So for these oats, this is the oats you have, you know, for breakfast. So in the blender, I'm going to put the oats in the blender a bit with water and then blend it and then put it in a pot. So I've got my pot on fire and I've blended my wheat. The reason why I blended it with water is because it gets rid of the lumps in it, because I don't really like it. I like it a bit smooth. So I'm going to add that to the pot. And I'm going to cook that out until it thickens up a little bit, and then I'll add the amala. So you keep stirring and cook that out for at least 3 to 5 minutes. So as you can see, this is the consistency we want. It's quite thick now, and I'll be adding the amala, you know, just to bind it up as well. Yeah, the wheat gives the okay, I'm adding my amala. I spilled a little bit, but that's fine. I'm going to add my amala little by little and then keep stirring. So this is what it looks like after stirring it with the amala. This is the consistency we want. And then once we get it to this level, you can now add a bit of water to cook it out a little bit, because the amala is not cooked and the oats is not really cooked. So I'm going to add a little bit of water and I'm just going to cook it out for like 2 to 4 minutes. So I've plated my amala oats swallow, and then I'm going to go ahead and plate my okra as well. Okay, so I'm plating my okra as well. Bon appetit. Join me. Thank you. Bye.